What's up, fellow adventurers? Whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, what's up, fellow adventurers? I need to TR soon, so I thought I'd better make a quick video about this build that I've been playing. Now, it's an 18 fighter, 1 barbarian, 1 favored soul. I guess you could say it's the pleb version, or the poor man's version of the 18 fighter, 1 favored soul, 1 warlock. Because you're playing in Razorclaw shifter, and in order to get that split, you need to use a +1 lesser heart of wood. Now, obviously, being in the third world country, Australia, that I'm in, I can't afford that. So I've had to make do with what I've got here and run 18 fighter, 1 barbarian, 1 favored soul. So this build is all about DPS, guys. And as I said, it doesn't fall too far behind the build with 1 warlock. The 1 warlock build is strong because it has the extra melee power that you get from that feat. And the feat is right here. But what I've done a bit differently to try and mix things up for everybody and make this build fun is kind of make it like do a lot of damage in one hit, but also a lot of damage over time. So while we're running the legendary Dreadnought Destiny, we're also running a lot in the Fury of the Wild and taking the Adrenaline Epic Strike. And you might say, why is that? That is so strange. Why do you always have to do things differently to stand out? You don't. But the thing is, it seems fun to just like one-shot mobs when you do like 30, 40, 50k damage crits. I have done as high as 100k in perfect conditions, and I think that makes the build fun, you know, just destroying mobs makes you feel good, strong, and excited about the game, right? Let's have a look here. 13. That's not very good. Okay, don't worry about it. So, important things here. To do this build, all you need is strength, con, and charisma, and enough points in dexterity to get the 2-weapon fighting line. So important feats, that means, are things like the 2-weapon fighting line, of course, past life monk, if you have that, to get the +1 weapon die to hand wraps. Because obviously, guys, we're using hand wraps. If it wasn't obvious, we're using hand wraps. And I'll go into more on that in a second. Other important feats, I don't know, nothing really. Yeah, 2-weapon fighting, there it is. Dodge, mobility, and whirlwind are some feats that I've taken. However, you don't need to take whirlwind. I actually have no answer to why I took whirlwind. I just want to show that you can have an effective build that isn't like perfectly crafted, right? Greater weapon focus, all bludgeoning type stuff, because as I said, you'll be using hand wraps, fists, whatever it is, claws in this kind of case. So greater weapon bludgeoning. I've got tactical master and tactical supremacy. That increases your DCs for obviously your combat feats. But the thing about that is, I don't have a whole heap of combat feats that I really use. So it's up to you if you want to go down that route of getting stunning blow and then really getting into your tactical feats and using die charge. However, this build is the one punch meme, so we're going with tactical master. As I said, no reason. Fighters get second wind, which is a good way to heal yourself. Additionally, instead of tactical master, you could go for like the heavy armor bonus PRR and MRR feats and use heavy armor. That's another discussion for later. We'll talk about that a bit later. More important feats are also down here a bit further. Improved critical bludgeoning, of course. Of course we're going to take improved critical bludgeoning because that's how we get most of our damage, through crits, right? Now, swords to plowshares is another critical feat. I suggest you take that as soon as you can. I haven't even participated in this quest, have I? Yep. You'll need to grab some weapon focuses and all that jazz. And really, they're the key ones. Maybe grab a toughness, whatever you're into. So I make flexible builds. You can do whatever you want. Spells, divine favor, enhancements, we'll have a look at that in a second. Now, as of late, Razorclaw shifter has become pretty popular, as I said, with the 18-1-1 warlock build. The whole build is kind of set off by this overwhelming shifting enhancement, which is the one that gives the +1 primal bonus to critical multiplier. I've talked about it in previous builds. I love it, you love it, we all love it. It makes for the best builds in the meta at the moment. Just about, in my opinion. They're very, very good. And obviously, Kensai, well, it's not obvious. I'm going to tell you, it'll become obvious. The Kensai tree is very important. It gets a critical threat multiplier at level 6 in the 3rd core, and it also gets some other cool stuff at the top here. 20 melee power, competence bonus to critical threat range. That's a competence bonus. That competence bonus stacks with the primal bonus over here. So at that stage, you're getting a respectable crit multiplier and crit range on your hand wraps. And that's it. I've also gone for the same thing as the last build where I got the Blade Master, which is the capstone of the Vistani Knife Fighter, which gives a 5% attack boost, speed, and you can't get Blade Master and the Tier 5 Kensai and the Primal bonus without having Racial Completionist. And I know not many people that really have Racial Completionist, and it's a fucking pain in the ass, so I keep talking about it all the time. So, as always, you don't have to do it like that. If you don't have Racial Completionist, you just need to make sure you get the Primal Overwhelming Shifting for the Primal Crit Multiplier, Tier 5 in Kensai, all the way up to the 5th core. I'd get Haste Boost in the Vistani Knife Fighter, and then honestly the rest is up to you. Some of the other Barbarian low-hanging fruit is pretty good, and you can get some fighter stuff from more defenses if that is your jam. And that's really the crux of the build. But is there anything else exciting I can tell you? With the enhancements, I should also mention that Divine Might, giving the Insightful Attack buff, Insightful Attack and Damage buff, is something else you need to aim for. We'll jump into that same quest again, and we'll go through how I run things to try and maximize the damage of the build, keeping in mind that I'm a bit lazy sometimes, because if I'm going to share a build, I want to show you how to run it as good as you can, as easy as you can, and then from there you can decide if you want to make it better or be lazier than me if that's possible, and then see how it goes, right? So if we quickly look at the gear here, what I've tried to do is capture just the 2 basic sets, which I think a lot of melees are running at the moment. If you have access to more gear, you can change it up a little bit, and I'm still... My gear is like fluid. I'm always changing and trying to make a slightly better gear set than I have, blah, blah, blah. So the 2 sets you kind of need to worry about just to, get this thing off and racing is the Dreadstalker set, the 3-piece. That's the armor, the helm, the cloak. That gives you some pretty good stats. Like it gives you the, as you can see, Sneak Dice, Artifact Melee Power, Artifact Double Strike, Artifact Damage to Helpless. Cool. And then in addition to that is the Legendary Dreadol's Curse set, right? And the reason that is good is because it gives you the Profane bonuses. Profane Melee Power, Profane PRR, Profane Ability Scores, Profane Hit and Damage. That covers most of what you need, but as you probably see, there's no artifact bonus there to our main stat, or any stats for that matter. So that's when you can try and squeeze in other sets. However, having just those 2 sets takes up 8 pieces of gear. And then it comes into like doing a whole lot of shuffling to move things around and whatever you want to do. You don't have to be married to this. I also have the Legendary Gem of Many Facets, which is running Legendary Raven's Eye, and it's also running the Legendary Windlash's Ferocity. It's one of the best gems you can roll, in my opinion. Those 2 sets are great and give you a lot of coverage. So if you're into that kind of way of going about it, you can, and try and build your sets off that. But, just foot in the door, the easiest way to go is just the Dreadstalker and the Isle of Dread base set, which is obviously called the Legendary Dreadol's Curse. It's kind of up to you. But the build, it's just so powerful. I feel like it's so powerful. Maybe not as powerful as the one with the Warlock Splash, but anyway, let's see what we do. So generally, we want to try, as always, you want to try and do your long-term buffs first, and then as you go into a fight, you're using your short-term buffs. Pretty straightforward, right? I don't know, maybe some people just need to hear it. Now, my gear is a bit of a mess here, actually. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out my gear right now. So, it's good to start with a Primal Scream. Primal Scream lasts about 5 minutes and gives you some more strength and con. Fantastic. And then what I usually do is put on my Charisma item. So my Charisma is a 58 and hit my Divine Might. That also lasts 2 minutes. That's pretty cool. Swap back to your item that you're using. It's good to use Power Surge before you rage. However, if you have a sentient item that has the Blood Feast 5-piece, which gives you the Shield of Rage. The Shield of Rage is 1000 HP when you use Rage. We'll see it right now. I've got 3600 HP. I hit the old Rage. Boom, jumps up to 4800. Very cool. So it's like, what, 100 per epic level? Yeah, whatever. Then you got to move back. But when I do that, I lose 2 of my boosts, so it's a bit awkward. But that is basically all you need to be off to the races, right? A couple of short-term buffs there. It's only like 4 or 5. But if you were going to get more complex than that, you could also try and throw in your Madstone Rage, right? Madstone Rage stops you from casting spells and using clickies things, but you can use Rage while you're Madstone Raged. Okay, that's a lot to take in, I know, but bear with me. Very soon, we'll all be running R10s together, boys. Get pumped. Yeah, just looking at my gear. Who knows? What a mess. What a mess. Okay. So, hit that rage. Hit that power surge. Now, it comes into short-term buffs here. Even without short-term buffs, you can see we'll pretty easily get a crit over 10k. That's fantastic. But the short-term buffs I've got over here are things like one cut. One cut is what you get at level 18 as a fighter. That's good for about 15 seconds of DPS. Howl is good for about 20 attack or something, 15 attack. We've talked about that before. The more attack you have, I think the better you can land crits, really. And then haste boost. And haste boost, I have prowess preloaded like in some previous builds. And I also have, whirlwind. Also, this opportunity attack, when you land that, it increases your melee power for a bit. I think it's like 20 seconds. If you hit something, you get... let's actually just read it. It does 3 weapon damage, who cares? You gain 20 melee power for 6 seconds, alright? Which is a lot of melee power for 6 seconds. So if you get that off first, and then you can start ripping into your adrenaline, good deaths type stuff, or whatever you want, really. Let's have a quick look here. Oh, missed. Oh, that's professional play there. So there's a sneaky 40k crit, not too bad. As I said, in perfect situations, you'll be able to get yourself up to 100. And finally, where is everyone going? Down a hole? Maybe I can wait for them. We'll try and kill something by ourselves. Now, you'll notice that I missed something, which is the Divine Favor, which is a luck bonus to your attack and damage. If you can set your stuff up neater than I can, you can get all the stuff to go nicely, and then only need to worry about like your one cut, howl, and haste boost. Oh, and obviously Power Surge and Vistani Fortune and Divine Might. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole row of buffs. You should also make sure you cast Magic Fang first. Yeah. Are we good? We good to go? Here we go. Make sure we've got everything up. Let's try and go as good as we can here. In that kind of order, that. If you're really worried, you can use Action Hero, which is pretty cool. What kind of damage can we get here? This guy probably doesn't take crits very often because he's undead. Not too bad, not too bad. Here's the boss. That was quelled. Lead him with a nice big 20k crit. That's not too bad. Try and kill him before he kills us. Don't forget, you've got second wind. You can use that. 10-second cooldown. And that's just a sneaky cut to show you how much damage we can do. I know barbarians, and probably even rangers to a degree, and many builds can do like more damage, but it's the rate of attack. You know, it's the rate of fire with this build, like how fast it attacks is what kind of brings it up into that upper tier of DPS for me. Just with the base damage from using hand wraps like that and from the Blade Master, it's all, yeah, it's pretty strong. I don't know what I'm doing this quest for, to be honest. I was just helping some random people try to loot an item, you know, because paying it forward and all that jazz. As I said, I'm going to TR out of this build, guys, but I think it's really strong. As I said, it's the cheaper version of one of the best builds in the game. It obviously you do have to pay to play because it's using the Razorclaw shifter. You know how much I love Razorclaw shifters these days. Yeah, goddamn, who knows? What's my double strike? It's only 74 at the moment because I've got my items all wrong. What's my melee power? 288. I mean, 350 is what you want to aim for. We could get there with a little bit more tinkering, but I didn't plan to be in this build for too long. I just wanted to share it with everyone to see what we've been up to. If there's any questions, like as always, guys, leave them in the comments and I'll try and respond to everybody. And I didn't talk much about my gear, so I will leave some gear list links in the description. And you guys can click on that, see what it looks like, and maybe move it around to yourself. But, you know, it's just the same important things that you always have. You know, it's like your main stats, your double strikes, your fortification, your fort bypass to hit damage. Very obvious things. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Shit, I don't know. We'll have more videos soon. Take it easy, boys. Boom.